everyone. I'm still leaving an open communication with you all. I hope everything is going well so far, but I must keep searching for this queen before I could find and rescue you all. I must say that my mind is having a difficult time discerning reality from dreams. I'm fighting to remain present in this reality. The memories of being a dream priest before the schism with SeaTac leads me to believe that I have control over this and should soon be able to stay grounded. This would not be the case for you all, though. I assume you're falling into dreams. A plan of the dark forces at work here. But do not worry, the Green Bull needs to be powered by a champion, and we can potentially use their plan against them. So keep playing, and know that I'm not far behind. What's this? Some sort of portal? It hurts my head. Some sort of time and spatial distortion.
Welcome to the quest for the Green Ball! Òrdugh, Truaillidh! We had a very interesting week as injuries, per the usual, are becoming a huge concern for us. And we already are down to just 3 undefeated teams, with half the league sitting at 1-1. Perhaps the Dark Fae are messing with our heads, or maybe it's just a war of attrition that is fantasy football. There were plenty of nice bounce backs from a week ago. The Stellar Bitches had a huge week. My Gashkia Slews also had a nice bounce back in a rivalry match. And Green Acres avoided an 0-2 start with a huge win against the Dreamcats. And of course, we have the 3 teams that are leading their respective divisions at 2-0. Bandidos del Rio in the flatlands of Scal, Risky Business in the wetlands of Aron. And the winner in our last We're hosts. Remember, the Titans had good news and bad news against Air Jordan at the GOFTA of the Highlands. This was not the start that Air Jordan was hoping for when he traded to get 3 fifth-round picks in the draft. 7 players under 10 points, including a rough performance from Breece Hall. About 25 points left on the bench. A little too much to overcome. That's right. For the second straight week, remember, the Titans is a Game of the Week winner, moving to 2-0 in the Peaks of Hulk division with a 94.98 to 73.44 victory. This was also despite a coaching move that shocked us all when he benched highlighted player Puka Nacua in his eventual 15 points. In the end, it was all about DeAndre Swift, who showed us that committees don't mean a thing when you got the hot hand. Swift finished with 175 rushing yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson also bounced back with 237 passing yards, 54 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Saints defense stepped up again with 4 sacks and a fumble recovery. Jordan Love, another highlighted player, did have a nice game again. One of the bright spots for Air Jordan. He had 151 passing yards, 23 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. James Conner added 106 yards and a score as well. But in the end, it was about the Jackson and Swift show. While Remember the Titans is 2-0, Air Jordan fell to 0-2 and will desperately be looking for a win to avoid the dreaded 0-3 start.
Back-to-back game of the week wins. Certainly great start to the season. Nice to score a little more than I did in week 1. But I got to say, after Monday night with the injury to my first-round pick, Nick Chubb, deflating a little bit from the feeling of victory. So looks like that's going to be a season ender, so I'm going to have to scramble around to keep this momentum going. But I guess it's appropriate where we were playing with the shoes of Swift, because going to need those DeAndre Swift to take those over and get me plenty of points in the weeks ahead. He was a stud this week for me, so hopefully he can keep something going there. Just happy to get another win and start out 2-0 and have to figure out the path from here.
It must be said that our highlighted players did step up in a big way here if you were following along. Nakua looks to be a beast moving forward with another 15 receptions for 147 yards. Even when Kupp returns, Nakua looks to be solid as a wide receiver too moving forward and will most likely be in the wide receiver 1 conversation until Kupp is back. Love also looks like a viable streamer and potential borderline starter each week with his 6 touchdown passes in 2 games. The only bad news for Remember the Titans is that he lost running back and 5th overall pick Nick Chubb for the rest of the season. Such a big loss for the Browns, and it will be tough for Remember the Titans to replace that kind of production in fantasy. That's just tough on everyone. No one wants to see that. What about the rest of us? Did we escape the injury bug? Hardly. Let's get to that and more in the best of the rest. The Stellar Bitches went from worst to first in terms of points in a week as they crushed the multiple scoregasms 134.48 to 82.34 on the road in the Peaks of Ulk division. Keenan Allen and Raheem Mostert each had 2 scores, and Burrow did much better with 2 touchdowns of his own. 6 players had over 14 points. The multiple scoregasms lost Saquon Barkley for several weeks with an ankle injury after he led the way with a couple of scores. Both teams are now 1-1. In the wetlands of our own, undefeated Risky Business handed the elite Mother Tuckers a 124.24 to 77.4 loss at home. While he lost Anthony Richardson to the concussion protocol, Risky Business did have 2 touchdowns by Richardson before that happened. Tyler Lockett and TJ Hawkinson also scored twice. The elite Mother Tuckers are actually in unfamiliar ground with an 0-2 start. Justin Herbert did reach the end zone twice, and Zach Moss also scored. But this is the first time the elite Mother Tuckers have lost 2 in a row, and this is already the most losses they've ever had in one of our league seasons, going 15-1 last year. Green Acres had a nice game on the road against the Siamese Dreamcats in a 105.2 to 86.76 win. Kyrene Williams had 2 scores, and T. Higgins had a big day in the flex with 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Siamese Dreamcats had the top quarterback in Kirk Cousins, who had 4 touchdowns, but a lack of touchdowns elsewhere and an injury to A.A. Ron Jones eventually hurt in this one. Both teams are now 1-1. Lastly, in the flatlands of Scal, undefeated Banditos Del Rio enjoyed a 104.7 to 79.96 win at home over the Clash at Demon Head, who fall to 0-2. Patrick Mahomes connected with Travis Kelce and added another touchdown. Kenneth Walker added a couple of scores, and Mike Evans had a monster game with 171 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen with 3 scores, and Jaden Reed with 2 scores led the clash at Demon Head. Finally, my visiting Gashkia Slews kept the cash of Mentats with a 100.82 to 96.62 win over Low-Key Lebowski Thor. Both of us now 1-1. Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns, and Devontae Smith added a 50-plus yard touchdown for that bonus point. The kicker, Nick Folk, and the Browns defense also added 19 points, much better than the week before with Gano and the Giants. Jalen Hurts had 3 scores, and the Bucs defense had a wild finish to secure 6 sacks, 2 picks, and a touchdown to lead Lebowski Thor. Those results do make for some interesting Week 3 battles, including our next game of the week. Check back tomorrow to get more insight from our league as we preview everything and take a trip to the bogs of Diamirach. Until next time, salut.